Welcome to Skin and Soul. I'm Gwenm Carsley, a transformational body, sex, and soul coach, and I'm inviting you on a bold, unfiltered journey into the heart of our humanity through the lens of Eros. This is where we strip away the shame, dive into the unspoken, and embrace the wild, raw truth of our desires. Together, we'll crack open the taboo, uncover our deepest intimacies, and awaken the pulse of our sexual essence. Because real transformation, it's messy, it's thrilling, and it's oh so delicious. Buckle up, loves. Skin and Soul Beyond the Pale starts in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy 2026. I, for one, am so happy to see 2025 go, and we're starting off 2026 with a real beautiful bang. I'm Gwenm. I'm your host of Skin and Soul Beyond the Pale, and I have Rill with me today, who is an intimacy coach who's had an amazing, extraordinary lived experience in the sex industry as an erotic dancer. You've been an event host for swingers, stylist on adult film sets. You're a writer of erotic fiction. You're also the creator of Seductive Art, which is, I believe, where you bring in your coaching skills of teaching communication and sensual movement and all that stuff. So we're going to talk about that today. But I do want you to share some of your story, because I think it's so interesting how you have lived this amazing life of just really being in the sex community, sex industry, but from a really interesting angles.
Okay, so
Welcome.
thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I truly appreciate that. Yeah, you know what? I was contemplating to myself. I also do karaoke, and I've noticed when I go to karaoke, I'm always pulling up my skirt, up my shirt, and I was like, yo, why am I always doing that? Then I thought back when I was a kid, I was riding my big wheel, and I remember I was just on my big wheel. I just pulled my dress up. My aunt said, "Real," and I was like, "Oh my!" So I think that God just placed this like on me, right? So with that being said, moving on. So when I was in middle school when I was in middle school was seventh, eighth grade, I was talking with girlfriends. What would you do you don't want your parents to know about? I said, I want to be an exotic dancer. Well, they say stripper, exotic dancer. And moving forward, I became one. When I was 23 years old, I moved to New York and I had a very lucrative career. I made
Mhm.
my first $1 million. Wasn't financially literate, so that was blown great. And from that, and I got some serious, interesting stories. As from that, was a hostess to swinger parties,
Mhm.
um, which is a whole nother thing. And then, and also in the industry as a hostess at the swinger parties, I met people who were in the pornography, and they was like, "Yo, we need somebody to style." And I was just like, "Really? They have stylists on pornographic films?" They was like, "Yeah."
Mhm.
So I got introduced to that. Then I started doing that, and through all of that, I was like, you know what? I can create something. Because who do you talk to most of the time? You talk to your girlfriends about sex and whatnot, and everybody talks about sex. And when you think about marriage, when people break up from marriage, from divorce, it's generally because of sex or money. So, and I was looking at women and I was just like, yo, a lot of women do not know how to walk in heels, ladies. Oh my Lord, have mercy. You don't
It's
know
true.
how to walk. And it's a technique. It really, really is. Do heels hurt? Yes, they do. Um, and you need to know shoe maintenance. They don't understand that. They don't understand placement, meaning you go somewhere, you flats, then you transform into heels. But there's truly is a way in which you walk in heels. So I created Seductive Art, and I teach visual stimulation, how to visually stimulate your partner first. That's first and foremost. You want to keep his focus on you. There's so much out there for a man for his eyes to wander, and you want
Mhm.
him to keep his eyes on you. So you want to not only inside the bedroom, but also outside the bedroom. Well, what I also teach inside the bedroom is character building. Like say you being, like you being submissive, or you being dominate, you being a dominant character. You really, most people giggle and all that. You just really, really have to hound in, and this is where your acting skill come into play. So we teach visual stimulation. Then we have real sex talk. We talk about anything under the sun that's related to sex and human sexual behavior. And also, I teach the dance, which is ESS, and erotic, sensual, seductive dance. And all of those three things is included into what seductive art is.
I love that. I think it's a beautiful way of encompassing. So I'm curious, like, so when people come to you, are they really shy about talking about sex?
You know, it takes them a minute
Mhm.
because my first thing is like to get them loose. So because there's visual, so I have like a models come through and show them different like garments or whatnot. I am a designer, but I don't do lingerie. So I always select some other designers to show their pieces, and with those pieces, I teach them how whatever that look is, how to play into that look. How to be sexy. Some women can't even embrace that. So we go through that, and then they kind of loosen up. And then as far as talking, it takes them like a minute. But then
Mhm.
as they see other people and they know that they are in a safe place, then they are able to open up.
Okay, so you're working in groups with a lot of people so that it just with a couple or individually, or are you working with people like as a group? So people get to
Yeah, it's
see how other people communicate because I know everybody communicates somewhat differently, right? If you think of some people will say, "Oh yeah, I love like really I'm going to say direct, crass, dirty talk," right? So and then somebody else might want something much more sensual or
well, yeah, it's a group. It's a
it's a
group
group.
of women. And
Okay.
then I definitely, yeah, and
Oh,
I'm also trying to implement like men, because you know a lot of men do come to me, especially with the erectile function. Let me tell y'all something about that. Like I am no doctor, but the one thing I will say, what I understand about the human body, it is definitely what you're eating, and also you have to exercise.
yes, and practice, practice, practice. It
Oh
is a
yes, that's
mindful
it.
practice, right? This touch. Okay. So do you see both men and women, right? Do you see both, or is it basically focused on women?
It's basically focused on women. I'm slowly trying to figure out how I can implement men due to the fact that I don't have a partner. So you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know how like they would take that. And then I do get some pushback like from women because they like, how can you tell me something and you don't even have a man? I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with anything? But you know, I've been having sex. I have had sex. I ain't had sex in a while, but that has absolutely nothing to do with me actually studying and talking to so many different people, doing my own surveys, and people just coming to it is, you know what, I swear, when I be outside, I don't know why people come to me and be sharing their most intimate situations without even knowing
Hmm.
what I do. So, but yeah, but it's generally, it's just like, it's a group of women.
Yeah, well, you're very comfortable in your sexuality, so um, I think for me, one of my questions for you is like, how has your view of sex changed over having done everything that you've gone through in your life, coming from all of these different perspectives? How do you experience your own sexuality now? How do you think it's changed from when you were younger to now?
Wow. But okay, so I am 56 years old, and sex is like just non-existent for me. I don't know why, but it is. Like I haven't had sex in a very long time. Men don't tend to want to approach me for whatever reason. I don't know. My son's father tell me, he was like, "Yo, you intimidate men." I don't know what that means, but that's what he said. And you know, I'll be outside, I'll be perched, I'll be cute. You know what I'm saying? I'll be doing the things, but you know, and I see a lot of eye contact, but nobody approach. But then somebody told me, they was
Mhm.
like, look, first of all, you got to stop with that going outside. It's all on the what's those things
Yeah,
called?
it's become a
The
really
dating
different
apps
world now, the
things.
dating apps, and I'm a person who I just I don't use
Yeah, yeah, me
and
either.
then I
So I
leave.
don't really. So mine's haven't. The one thing I would say, like as far as sex is concerned, I know a lot of women get upset when they hear me say this, but I don't believe that we are meant to have sex with one partner. And this is for me observing people, talking to people, seeing all the things that happens out in the world. Like especially if your man got money, honey, girl, please. I have read this article, right? And it was in what is it, Italian Vogue. I wish I would have kept this article. And these were some wealthy white women, right? So they have
Hmm.
their husbands are wealthy. So I'm assuming they sit at home, they be perched and cute and doing all the things. And they said that they had conversations with their husbands, like, look, I know that you know that they basically outside having sex with women or whatnot. Just don't embarrass me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't get no woman pregnant. And then, you know, they have to be mindful. people have to be mindful and psychoanalyze people because you don't know. So a woman could come to a man for all types of reasons. Who she could be mentally deranged or whatnot. So yeah, so these women, they really had real conversation, which I really want people to really, really do is to have real conversation with your
Hmm.
partner about sex because sex for men, for and some women who understand it's not, it's there's no attachment. Honey, we are here in it for this moment. We're in it for the moment. That's it. And then we can, and if it's good, maybe we'll holler at each other another time. You have your mindset. You have to understand how this men work. And also women got to stop allowing themselves to get like, oh, I'm in love with him. You don't even know him. Y'all just had sex one time. Girl, what you mean you in love with him? You know what I'm saying? It takes a minute. And I'm
Yeah,
not
so I
that,
mean there's right there's a difference between sex and love. And I love this. I mean, we've called
mm-hmm.
this episode like desire is currency, right? And so
Mm.
desire sex as currency, meaning like, it can be really transactional. Like it's just a thing, right? It doesn't have to have the attachment of intimacy or love, or it can even still have intimacy. But what I think is interesting is when you say like, I think everybody's polyamorous. Which I don't, I'm like, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of think it depends on, because there are definitely men who don't cheat on their partners, definitely, I would say, from my
Mm.
own lived experience. And I also think there's,
I don't believe that.
and it doesn't really, and to me, it doesn't really like matter. I mean, we talk more about consensual non-monogamy. I think that's really become much more popular nowadays to have those conversations. Like, what do you
Hmm.
want? What does it mean? What does cheating mean? Because everybody will define cheating very differently. Right? It could be I'm kissing this person and it's cheating. I'm thinking about another person, that's cheating. I have a friend that I'm super intimate with. That cheating, right? Or is it just sex?
Wow. Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Right?
this road to sex and human sexual behavior is it's like it's individual. It's every person has their
Hmm.
thought process, but then when you link up with somebody, you need to be able to have honest conversations about what you want and and what you expect out of your partner. I mean, like seriously, and I really do think that this is not going to happen until I'm probably dead and gone because people are like they just so women. See, I have talked to women who say like, but if I get married, like, but why he want to cheat on me? Like, girls, for me, I'm just like, 'cause people are attracted to. I mean, it's up to you to if you value your relationship, whatever that means to you, because like you said, everybody's meaning is different. So if you value your relationship and you say, "Look, I know it's just me and her. I just want to just be with this person," or her too. Like there's women who
Hmm.
cheat. They just do it way better than men. But and say like, I'm sticking to the script. Like, no, because let me tell y'all something. I had a situation like that. I was with this guy. I'm a person who likes to work out, and I was a gym rat at this time. I'm in the gym all the time. This man, he was gorgeous. Oh my God, face gorgeous, body banging. I was just like, I mean, we would be staring at each other from across the room like this. You know what I'm saying? Like it was like that, like in slow motion. And so so one day we just started talking. I'm in a relationship. I'm not married, but I'm in a relationship. And then
Hmm.
he was just like, yo, we should go swimming. And I knew exactly what that meant. You know what I'm saying? Like we're gonna go swimming. So I was like, okay. But in my mind, I was just like, nah, I didn't do it. But to this day, I regret it. I really, really do. I really wish I would have done that.
Would
It
have
don't have
done.
nothing to do.
Sorry, that you
I
that.
wish I would went with a guy from the
Mhm.
at the gym swimming,
Mhm.
and I know it would have led to sex. I already know. Like I said, we were luring at each other like this. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
From across the room.
Mhm.
I really do. Women do suppress their feelings.
Yeah, what, and I'm curious to know, like, why do you think, not just women, why do you think people are dishonest about wanting to have extra partnership relationships or sexual experiences or
Because we have been taught and pretty much brainwashed into, you get married and y'all. And now, mind you, let me before I before y'all dig into me,
no?
I value relationships. It's a beautiful thing, and partnerships coming together. It's a great thing. So you have children, you have the two-parent home, you have both of those energies there, financial, spiritual, a companion. all these great things, when you are together with someone. But I think that the way our minds have just been placed into thinking like, we have to get married, and especially for a woman, preserve yourself for your husband. There's no cheating outside, and people are not having conversations. They're just not talking to them in a real way as it relates to sex and human sexual behavior. No one is really doing it. My mother told me, this is my conversation. Well, my mother's conversation with me. I'm from Michigan. I say dial. That's DOLL, right? So I'm
Doll,
playing with my
doll.
dial. Yeah, I'm playing with my dial, and she was like, "Boys only want to have sex with you." Like, what is wrong with this lady? And I was like, oh, okay, I don't even know what you're talking about, but all right. And that was it. We didn't have no other conversation about how to
Hmm.
protect yourself. Like you don't be going. Another thing, it's just there's young people out there that's listening. Young ladies do not be, or even young men, don't be going out with people like really late at night. If somebody calling you at 4 or 3 o'clock, oh, they want to fuck. Like, so
Yeah,
what you
the
think?
booty call.
Yeah, what you think you coming over there to have tea and Netflix and chill? Yeah, then you're gonna be sliding over. And then also don't put yourself in dangerous situations because there's a
Hmm.
lot of people who get, unfortunately, that situation, they get SA'd, and we don't want that to happen. And I suggest everybody learn how to fight. But parents are not talking. I think parents, I find that when I talk to parents and I talk to them about how they talk to their children, they say they don't. And a lot of them
Hmm.
don't because they was
Yeah.
probably, some of them were like pretty promiscuous, but that's you. That's not your child. And then also tell your children about you. And I'm not saying that you have to say the actual act of what you were doing, but just give them that experience. Let them know about different experience that you experienced that you had with people of the opposite sex, or if you're a same sex person, the same sex, and so that they can, be on the watch for what they can look out for. But we really and truly have to have real conversations about
Yeah.
sex.
And to be comfortable in our, in the body. That's the other thing is that, it's one thing we're
Mm.
talking about monogamy, polyamory, going out there and like staying safe. But I think one of the most important things is to sit there and really go one, first of all, this, whether it's a yes for you, not just okay, right? Like to sit and listen and honor for yourself what is real for you. Because yes, you're right. Like I didn't grow up with a sex conversation. I mean, I've said this before on other podcasts where my mother is now talking about sex more than I've ever heard her talk about sex, and she has dementia, right? She's
Nice.
hilarious. She just keeps looking at these young men. She's like, "Oh, he's so sexy," and like she's like, "Oh." She's like, I still want to fall in love. I would still have sex. I'm like, what? What am I? My mother's 84. And, but, but the filter is gone. But growing up, I didn't hear anything about sex, and by the time my mother could barely speak it, right, to be sex, and with a German act, very heavy, thick German accent. And I still remember my father trying to have like the conversation with me. And I think I was about 17 or something, 16, 17. And I was like, you are too late, too late and uncomfortable. And I like, that was it. Actually later on, we had more fun around topics of sex, still very conservative, right? Like in my
Mhm.
now knowing, what I do and so on, my father would make jokes. He'd compare me to Ruth Vestheimer, if you know who she is.
Yeah,
She was like the
uh-huh.
right, remember? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So one thing, because so I just want to pull it back and bring it back to this whole like idea around polyamory. Like everybody here, like men, all men cheat, and that women cheat too. And
Mm.
I think there's something around like first of all consensual non-monogamy, right? People, like you said, people learning how to talk to each other because that's super important. I don't believe that everybody has to cheat because I think we still come in with a level of consciousness and awareness and respect and if you're committing to someone and you have a structure of rules of whatever the relationship is. But that's the thing. People walk into relationships all the time and they're just like, it's just going to be the fairy tale. It's just going to be magic and bubbles and joy and great sex and passionate sex like for the next lifetime. And that's just not the reality of it. So I don't know whether everybody wants to have outsourced like intimate relationships. But I think it's definitely important to have those conversations, and especially as they come up.
I don't think people outsource relationships or for a sexual act to happen. It just happened because we are all energy, and you can go outside. I don't know what it can take place anywhere, and you and something like me and the guy at the gym. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
We had this magnetic, sensual attraction to each other. Like it was just there. But I made up in my mind, which I really failed myself. Well, maybe I did. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's just me thinking right now. Um, is that I wish that I would have, but actually, me and this guy, the guy that I was with, like the sexist it wasn't great, and and at that time I wasn't able to say what I wanted and how I wanted it, and so that was a failure on my behalf as well as his, because I don't know what he was doing, because maybe he was cheating, I don't know, but yeah, like just the attraction part, just happens, but it's up to you to make that
Attraction, yeah.
decision.
Well, that's it. We can be attracted to many people. I mean, I think in our lifetimes you can be walking down the street, right? It's what I call window shopping. Just because I see the shiny object in the
But
window
I'm talking
doesn't
about
mean
not
I'm
just
going to go
you,
out
not
and
just
buy it, right?
right, but not just you. It's you and the other person. Like you and like that guy.
Hmm.
Like me and him had that. You know what I'm saying? Like we we,
Hmm.
we had that energy was like evolving between us. And it was just building and building it. Like it just happened. Let me tell y'all a quick little story. Like, oh my God, I was listening to this man, and he was saying that he was a businessman, and he had this guy who loved. He was a Mormon. He liked to talk about church and his family and the man's family. They both were married men, wealthy men, and he was a Mormon. And so he said, then afterwards, they got finished. He wanted to go out to dinner. And he said, I want to go to one of those clubs. So he was like, okay, I'll take you to a club. So he took him to a club. He was like, I don't think you know what I'm speaking of, right? So he was like, what you mean? He was like, oh, a strip club. He was like, yeah. Took him to a strip club. So now this is a Mormon man. And so he said, then he asked him, he was like, yo, do they got Asian women here? And so he asked one of the strippers, he was like, yo, are there Asian women? He was like, yeah, got him an Asian woman. So then he was like, yeah, I got him a lap dance. I guess it was the first time lap dancing. I don't know. And then he said he's gonna leave him, and he'll give him a car. He can take the car back to the hotel. He was like, no, I'll leave with you. So he left with him. So when on the car ride, he said, do you think he'd give me one of those girls? He was like, what do you mean? Like he said, like a escort. And so he was like, yeah. And he got him an escort. So he got him an escort. The girl came, and they was engaging in sex, and I guess he wanted to have it anally. Why this man punched the girl because she told him no.
Hmm.
He's Mormon, just that's why you can't trust nobody. Hit the girl in the back of her head because she didn't want to have sex with him anally, wouldn't let him insert himself in her in that manner. So this is what I'm
Yeah.
saying is seriously, we do not know. A lot of people paint a lot of pictures, but that picture, like what's underneath that canvas? Like for real, what's in that brush though? Because a lot of people say a lot of things, but people be fighting with themselves, especially when it comes to the church and religion. Can you even imagine? Like you think about them people in the Catholic Church molesting all them children like that. How do you
Hmm.
suppress your sexuality? How you do that? It was the I read another story where these nuns went to Africa and then left there and came back pregnant. Like, cause you can't suppress that. We are sexual beings.
We are
You
sexual
understand
beings. I
what I'm saying?
agree.
So,
And I was going to say, and money, is not, talking about prostitution and call girls and bringing in an
mm,
escort. Bringing in money is not, um, having that currency of that transaction is not the uh, permission for abuse, for violence,
oh yeah, of
right?
course not.
That's no. It's
Of
and I
course
think
not.
there's this stigma around having to using money as a way of getting anything and everything that you want, and that everybody has the right to have autonomy over their body and certainly be protected from any kind of violence. So, yeah, and it's
Oh yeah, for
interesting that
for
oftentimes
sure.
some of, yeah,
That's
that
why.
bringing in the
That's why. Yeah, that's why it is so vital to have his car. Y'all think about the man. I can't remember his name. Abercrombie and Fitch. The CEO, had been sexually assaulting young boys for decades.
Hmm.
And then when they finally catch him, now he's not mentally well. The CEO from what's that? American Apparel. He had these people sign something to where he couldn't even
Hmm.
get convicted of what he was doing. Like he was these was young women, so he taking advantage of. That's why it is so important. Parents, listen,
Hmm.
guardians, you have to. You can't. You have to have. Tell your children to definitely have strong morals within yourself. Money don't can't be moving you like that. You may be in a situation where you don't have a lot of money. Okay, so what? You will get it. But now I like prostitutes. I'm just saying. Every prostitute I
Hmm.
met was like really, really cool. I mean,
Super
that's as an
cool.
adult. That if you are an adult and that's the path that you choose to go. But what I'm saying is, as a young person, and then you get in these positions and people trying to take advantage of you,
Hmm.
like tell you they're gonna do, and then now they done used you up and did all types of horrible things to your body that you wasn't willing to do, but you did it because of this thing they call currency.
Hmm.
It is
Yeah, I was having
horrible.
really, which is interesting, like when you use desire as currency, right? So for an equal exchange. And there is something, I mean, desire is a currency, like in itself. It's a transaction. It doesn't matter whether it's with money or whether it's just having it being in the act, right? I think it's so interesting that we look at currency oftentimes as something bad, and it doesn't have to be bad, right?
Hmm.
Currency gets us all kinds of good things, but to use desire as currency or sex as currency, right? To make it transactional and pull it away from the intimacy. So I'm just like curious for you, like how you experience your desire today and like and sex in terms of in relationship to intimacy. Like do you like intimacy with your sex? Do you have you has it separated itself somehow?
Oh yeah, like I said, it's just so sad. My poor little sex life is just so sad. But no, like I'm a very intimate person. Like I am not what like like a prostitute. I don't know why I keep bringing up prostitutes, but you know how they could just have sex with this one, this one, this one, this one.
Hmm.
And because was in that business, the way people like think of me, I'm like, no, honey, I don't do none of those things. Like, no, I just no. It's always no, no. I need to have like a connection with somebody. Like for me first, it's like a mental thing. Well, of course, like well, now that I'm older, yeah, I like somebody to 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 have mind sex with me, like meaning that we have like stimulating conversations and all that. And then like from that, I find myself attracted to people. It's not like always a physical thing first. For me now at this age, like I am more attracted to someone's mind and then it moves towards that. And then that gets me nice and ready. But yeah, I like to be like we have to be like together like as one some sort of way. I just can't like even if I'm horny just lay down and go like to a swinger club and like have sex. Shout out to all the women who do that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like they're sexually liberated. I just be pumping them all up like yeah, go ahead girl. You know
Yeah.
but then again everyone is different. But for me
Hmm.
yeah I need a connection with someone in order for me
I
to
don't think it
engage in
makes
a
you more, I
sexual
mean,
act.
and sexual liberation, I think, is really being able to make up your own mind, right?
Oh yeah, for
it doesn't
sure.
like, because everybody gets to do and plays in so many different ways. And it's really about coming home and being true to yourself. And you've been in the industry for, I mean, you've seen it from so many different aspects, right? Coming from
Hmm.
erotic dancing and being the host at events. And what fascinates me, because I've been on film sets, not adult film sets, but
Hmm.
I'm wondering if you've seen the industry change over the years,
Well, you know what?
like
I'm not. Well, yeah, okay.
as a
Well, I could speak on
stylist.
it. Like, well, you know, I haven't been in it for a very long time, so I don't know what it's like right
Mhm.
now, currently. But when I was in it, now, mind you, the people that I dealt with were like people who was just coming into. They were on their come up into that industry. So, I got paid right. Beforehand. Always make sure, ladies, always make sure you get paid for any job that you're doing. That's first and foremost. Get your money. So they always paid me first. And it was very professional, like like any other kind of set, like except this in a hotel room. They had like the little racks and the shoes, and I also brought other things, and you know, and but also I learned another part of it is like look at the men, they would have problems with keeping their heart on. So they would have fluffers. So a fluffer didn't come. That's a girl who can stimulate the man without actually touching him. So like every sex is all in your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this man, so the guy he couldn't with the girl, all the cameras and everybody around, everybody watching, and so I just, just did like little soft, little sexy things, like just like he'll tell me what he liked. Like this one guy, he liked ears, like so I would just take my shoulder around my ear and and my hand. That's why you have to ask people. But then some people don't even know. I have talked to some women who told me that they never even masturbated. Like just
Yeah, that's always fascinating to me to be
yeah.
so
So
disconnected from your body and have probably been, mostly been shamed in their life so deeply that they won't
mm,
even go or
yeah, yeah,
so
that's horrible.
repressed into it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
You
really
say
horrible.
that's
And yeah, and also I want to tell ladies too, like make sure like love yourself first and foremost. This is one thing, one of the tricks I like to tell ladies in my when I have my workshops. We don't do it there, but when I suggest that when you get home, take your clothes off and look at you, and just put your hands out to the sun, out to up into the air, and be like, look, I love me. This is me. This is all
hmm
of you. And if you can, you should be able to look at yourself and love everything about you. We got whatever it is, everything about you. And if you get with a guy and you like say you watching TV and a guy looking at the TV and you be like, oh, like she's so sexy, but and he never tell you sexy, you need to have a conversation with him. Let him know. This, another thing I be finding, a lot of people have a problem with telling someone that they hurt their feelings. Like you can just say
yeah.
like that hurt me. Like it's just not, they be shameful of actually saying that or don't know how to express that. And it's just as simple as and I mean that's simple for some people. It's not as simple to just they'll just live like within their shame. But then again, who knows how they was brought up? Some people parents be calling them fat and ugly
hmm
and like when I hear some of these stories, yo, oh my God, like especially the ones that have been when the stuff happened in the house, the SA and the R's that happens in the house, like it's just so heartbreaking. The one thing I tell my son though, and I don't care what y'all think about this shit, I tell my son, don't you mess with no, because when you meet somebody, they'll tell you all about themselves because they're a stranger, unless they're a sociopath. Watch out for them. But um, girls who kind of been sexually assaulted or there's some serious trauma in their house,
hmm
I tell my son, no, don't deal with that lady. Don't deal with that young woman, because what she's dealing with, so you can't fix somebody, and if she haven't fixed herself or working on herself, all that trauma is gonna come like to you. You understand?
hmm
In some way. So I always ask God to keep people like that away from me too. Like I don't any man that show me any signs that well, God's gonna be trying to holler at me no more, although I be perched up. Um, they show any sign of them being a little wacko. Oh
hmm
no, no. Mm-mm. Block real quick.
Yeah. Well, I think in terms of the self-love, and it's easy to say, like,
Mm,
that we should love ourselves. And I don't know if this is, I think women in general, across cultures, ethnicities, have all been, all carry their own feeling of judgment. Absolutely. I think one thing I love around Black women or Black culture or Latin culture is this sense of curviness, because I know I grew up with dancer body, boy body, right? It was Kate Moss and Twiggy was still, I mean, she was the 60s, but it was that sense of like stick body. And so coming
mm-hmm.
to really love and what the industry has done to brainwash us as women to not fully embrace, to not be able. Because I know I love that quote in I don't know if you've seen Eat, Pray, Love, right? When she's like zipping up her pants.
Yeah,
They're
I haven't
both in
watched that in a
Italy,
while.
like after right when they're eating all of the pasta. She's like, oh my God, none of my jeans fit me. And she's like, has any man ever turned away from
Oh,
you when the
right,
act of sex, right? No, because they're just happy
right,
to be there, right? Like I've just won the
right,
lottery. But women
right.
don't feel that, right? And then they get completely in their head. So and are unable to fully express themselves. So I think so one of my questions to you is like, so what do you think that women repress most? what have you come across where women are just like, yeah, I can't express this.
Well, definitely the self-love,
Yeah.
that, especially especially like black women, due to the fact that we don't see ourselves, and the media is a powerful source. I don't think people be
Hmm.
understanding how powerful it is. You turn on the TV and you click, 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 click. If it is a black woman, she don't look like me. She kind of look like a Caucasian woman, like she don't look like me. And ain't nothing. I'm just saying, like you got some black women who are like really fair skinned. My sister is like really really fair skinned, but I mean, but still like with my hair, like they don't wear their hair natural because they've been taught you can't show up like yourself. I have had black women who have told me that some white man told them they wear their hair natural. She had her hair out. She worked in corporate. She had it out in the fro, and that white man told her to go home and comb her hair. I said, "Oh Lord
Wow.
Jesus." I would have gave him the serious tongue lashing. He would never
Hmm.
ever say nothing like that to a black woman again. I wish somebody
Hmm.
would say something about, I'm ripping you all the way up. Don't you can't say nothing to me about who I am as a person. Like I
Hmm.
am me. So for black women, it's just them loving themselves and just for real, like just loving themselves. Then you see everybody with these BBLs. I just like, what the hell is going on? Like in my mind, you can do whatever you want to with your body, and it is your choice and all of that. But when you think about it, like you don't think that that's a little bit of self like hate. I'm just saying, like, and also the media also push out like young. You gotta look young. You know what I'm saying? Like dye your hair, do Botox. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. Now, I don't have a problem with getting older. Whatever happens to my body is gonna happen, and I'm going to embrace it. I rock my gray hair. Like I don't care about none of that. Like,
Oh, I'm
and
fighting it all
I
the way. I always say I'm
like yeah,
fighting it all the way in a good way, I hope,
really.
like, yeah, I mean, I am blessedly very wise in my hair and always have
Uh,
been. I think I got my first gray hair when I was 21. And
yeah, me too.
yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm going down I'm not succumbing to this. But I do think it's important. I mean, I think we look around nowadays and people don't know what a normal face looks like. And it's a trend. It's a fashion. I mean, we've done it all throughout history, right? We're either, uh, plastering certain types of makeup or wearing wigs or shaving eyebrows or whatever it is or putting tongue piercings, whatever is the, I'm going to say, cultural trend.
Hmm.
But also, I mean, I'm looking at faces nowadays and I think it's so interesting to look at many 20-year-olds that I think look older than I did, at 35 and 40, because of all of the damage, just because their faces are changing in ways that they don't even recognize anymore. Yeah. So self-love, I think, is
Self-love, yeah. That and also
true
another
self-love.
thing too is being able to express what they want sexually. And also some of them, a lot of them have told me like, yo, I can't, I feel some sort of way with telling him that because he may judge me. Okay, see, listen, this is another thing too, ladies. Like, if you now, everybody have their limits. Have your limits for real. Like, if that's something like, no, I'm not doing that. Like, if he was to come to you and tell you, like, I want whatever it is, and you say no, I don't, I choose not to do that, then y'all have to figure out how y'all gonna be able to get around that because he has a need, and how he's gonna get fed that. And the same thing for you. If you have a need, how you and he say no, then how you gonna get around that? I met a couple who I just thought that was just so fabulous, right? She was into being a dominatrix,
Hmm.
and he liked to have sex with other women, and she go off and she do what she do, and he go off, and as long as they both know where each other is. For me, now this is in my mind because everybody's mind is different. I'm not trying to channel anybody to think the way I think. Now I agree with them. I was just like, yeah, like that, because that makes sense. Because so many people repress just like the Norman man. Even when I was an exotic dancer, it used to be the Jewish dudes with the I don't know what's that called, a hamaka.
Yeah.
Yeah, what would be in there on the regular. Like he was one of my regulars, like
Hmm.
giving me a lot of money. So I don't know, like what people just like really be painting this picture like this is what it is because of whatever society tell me or my religion tell me I should be. So I hide and sneak around and I do other things. That's why, from my experience and also just talking to so many other people, I just do not believe that we are meant to have sex with one person. But maybe you will meet. Now, I've read some fiction books that was just really good about two people who have had really great sex, and that was great. You know what I'm saying? It's great. Oh, and another thing too, just real quick, if you are interested in, if you think about dialing in someone in your bedroom, right?
Hmm.
Lady, the man and the woman has to it's a mindset. Get your mind right before you go in there. You can't be jealous. If you know you are a jealous person, I don't think that wouldn't be for you. Because as a man, if you bring another girl, you know he's gonna be all over her. She's new. He's experiencing her. So,
Yeah,
he's gonna
she's
be
the
all over
shiny new
her.
object, right? Yeah, it's
Right.
the
Exactly.
it,
So you have to
yeah, to know
if
what
you
you're
agree, your mindset has to be top tier
absolutely.
to not get jealous behind that. Because people I don't
That's
see
what
after
really good communication is. Like, and you said it, it's
mm,
being able to sit down and have really honest conversations. Like, I'm not, I, to me in partnership, at least at this time, I'm a one-to-one girl. Like, I'm just like, yeah, don't share, whatever. But I do think that there's space. I call myself monogamish, right? Like I'm like,
okay.
nah, there's room. And to me that's like more around there's a difference for me if I'm dating somebody for a year versus 40 years, right? Like I think having a journey with somebody for a really over decades just brings up so
That's a
many different
beautiful
thing.
thing.
And
Right. It's,
and things will come up very whether we like it to or not, things will definitely show up and show you. And I think one of the things that you were talking about role playing at the beginning,
hmm
and I think role play is just a really great way to meet different parts of yourself. It's also a great way to meet different partners of your partner, right? Like, so you're with your partner, but you're dressing up or you're taking on a whole new role where you get to act differently, take on parts of yourself that you might feel more timid or shy or feel shame around expressing. And this kind of gives you permission to
Or then you also
explore.
got, yeah, you got to open up your mind too. But I stopped doing it because I was just like, I don't know if I really feel safe with that. But I had did this for couples. They would hire me just to dance
Mhm.
while they engage in sex, while his eyes was on me. And that was a great way for them. And she was happy, you know. He was happy at the end, but then I was just like, no, for me, I'm just not. I didn't feel like super super safe doing that, so I was just like, no,
Mhm.
I'm not going to do that anymore. But you do have to open up your mind to different things, especially if you ladies, if you think your man is only having sex with you, girl, boo. I just do not believe that. I just do not. I do
Yeah.
not. I don't. I don't. And
So do
and
you
and
ever
I'm not,
see
and that
yourself
doesn't
then
mean
in
that he
like deep?
doesn't love you. I'm
No,
listening.
and I think that's yeah, and I think that's true. I think we have very distinct. We equate one thing with another, which isn't
No.
necessarily true, right? We say,
hmm
"Oh, somebody's had sex, therefore equals doesn't like the
Right.
love isn't there," which yeah, which I agree with. I think we have this society of like very distinct rules that says this equals this, which isn't true. So, how do you think that affects you though in terms of love? Like, how do you experience love with a person then? Like you
I'm
personally?
uh, no, I'm definitely willing. I'm definitely a loving person. And yeah, I'm willing to I can
Like, do you want
experience love with
partnership? Do
oh
you
yeah,
want
for
like,
sure. Yeah, I would definitely want that. But I also know that I have a window. My window is 5 years. After that 5 years, now we need to start doing. I want to do some other things. You know what I'm saying? Rather like, and I'm not interested like in another woman or nothing like that. Like, I would be willing for like I would watch him with another woman. Like I'm see, but that's my mindset. I know I wouldn't get jealous or nothing like that. So but that's my at my 5 year mark of us being together. See, everybody has to know,
mm,
like, you have to come up with your own, um, your own, what am I trying to say?
yeah,
Uh,
your own
uh,
rhythm, like, or your own, you understand how you work, I think, and to be really honest
right.
around it. Yeah,
So where
absolutely.
like
To know
where your
which,
mark is, and for me, I know that it is like at that after that 5 years, then yeah, I'm open. You know what I'm saying to do other things. for
Okay.
sure.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I'm loving just the honesty of all of this, but I'm just going to transition us because we only have about 10 minutes left.
Okay.
So I go through my 10 questions.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I almost forgot
just
about
so we have enough
that.
time, and then otherwise we can just keep going after, but I want to make sure you have enough time to answer these. So,
Okay.
one, what is one truth your body has always known that your mind took years to catch up to?
That that sex was good, and at the time I wasn't experiencing really, really good sex. Like
Mm,
in my 20s, that I knew that sex was supposed to be really, really good. And I wasn't even masturbating myself really, really good either. Like for real. Like I hadn't even I was doing it, but clearly I wasn't doing it right. I don't know what was happening. But with the partner, I knew that sex was supposed to be mind blowing. And then when I got with my son's father, and after that, it was definitely that.
mm. What's the most intimate moment you've ever had that had nothing to do with sex?
Mm. Is that does that have to be alone or with someone?
Either
Or it
way.
doesn't
Yeah, no,
matter?
it can be, no, it doesn't matter.
The most intimate thing that I had is because I also teach children. I teach fashion to children, and I had quite a few of my students tell me that really put a smile on my face. They was like, "You tell us stuff that my our parents don't tell us." And
Mm,
yes,
yeah.
yes. That made me feel really, really good. That was a serious, intimate moment between me and these students who actually, because they have no filter. They
Hmm.
believe, and I was just like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah. If you could be remembered for one sensation you gave someone, what would it be?
one sensation. Oh, my kindness.
I love that. If pleasure were a language, what would your first word be?
Mm.
I like that. Mm. Yeah, absolutely. Now, if your erotic life had a title, like a novel or a film or both, what would it be called?
Wow. If it was if, mm, sensational.
Mm. What's one thing you've never said out loud but wish somebody would ask you about?
um, One thing I never said I wish someone asked, do you want to go on a date?
Yeah. What
That's a
part of your
snap.
erotic? Yeah, I think that's really nice. And especially in a world today where we just don't get a lot of courtship, I think it's certainly,
Yes.
it's just not as prevalent. And I'm like, yeah, I just want to be
Right.
courted as a woman. Ask me
Right.
out.
Yes.
Hold the door
Yes.
open.
Right.
Absolutely. I won't slam the door on you. No way. What part of your erotic self are you still afraid to bring to the light?
Yeah, because we do have hidden things. Oh God. Oh wow. Um, I hope y'all know this acronym. What is it? DP.
Nope. Please enlighten me.
Okay, double penetration.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. What dies in you when you pretend? I love it. I love your frankness. I do. I
Right.
think it's great. I think we need more of it. Just a beautiful honesty of talking about sex in all of its glorious forms. Okay, what
Right.
dies in you when you pretend, and what comes alive when you don't?
Oh, what dies me when I pretend? When I don't express myself,
Mhm.
that dies inside of me. And what was the other question?
And what comes alive when
Comes
you
alive.
don't?
What comes alive when I don't? Mm, what comes alive when I don't. I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around that question.
It's basically so um what's alive in you when you're not pretending, when you're being authentic.
Oh, when I'm expressing myself.
Yeah. And finish this sentence. When I leave this life, I want my skin to remember.
When I leave this life, I want my skin to remember that I love my people. Um, I love myself. I am true to who I am, and I was grateful to be on this planet called Earth.
Mm. Last question. Thank you. If your soul has a scent, what does yours smell like today?
Oh, it's de- it's something sweet, but not super. Okay, it's this fragrance that I wear by Lacombe. So can I say that fragrance? It's
Sure.
called Le Vesbel. It
Hmm.
would smell like that. I love that. I tried
Lovely.
something else. Yes,
I love it. It's you're taking it with you to the other side. I like
yes.
it. I like it. Yeah. I love this conversation. Thank you for being so
No,
open and
thank
honest.
you.
Yeah, it's refreshing and it's nice. And I was actually thinking, and as we're talking, and sensuality, and that you teach on sensual dance and movement. And I'm always wondering, I'm like, men can use this too, by the way, this like whole sense of embodying themselves. And I do think every woman should experience doing some form of sensual dance just to get her into her body and feel her own sexiness, her own goddess, queen, however you want to put it, just
You're
like
right.
coming home into her body. But I also think I'm like, these men also getting into their bodies and feeling yummy and sexy.
Hmm.
What do you
You know
think?
what? It's I have a different take on that. I do not like. Well, and I'm thinking when you said that, I'm thinking like a male stripper, like the way that I
Oh
do
yeah, no,
not.
I'm thinking
No.
Latin dance, like I'm thinking like do a
Oh,
good
okay.
tango. I'm
Okay, okay,
thinking, I don't
okay.
know, I think that's where my brain goes, is like,
Oh, okay.
not the stripper. I yeah, that's never
But yeah,
been my
I think
thing.
I think they definitely should have some movements for sure
And even
because
just
it'll teach them.
loosening those hips, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
loosening
Yes.
better love making. Anyway, okay.
Right.
I,
Yes,
I
for
know we're
sure.
running out of time. So just
Yes.
if you want anybody to reach you, how can they connect with you and check you out?
Okay. You can on YouTube. I have a channel called Real Seductive. That's Rill Seductive. Um, and also on my TikTok, where I get like a lot of people over there. And that's what is it? A real nice, Rill nice. I
Mm-hmm.
am also not only am I a intimacy coach slash seductress. I'm also a designer. The name of my brand is Real Nice. As a designer, for me, and a lot of designers, like you still try to find your footing. Although I can be very, very creative and whatnot, but you can't be creative with the masses. The masses are trendy, so
Mm-hmm.
you have to dial it all the way back. So I'm still trying to find my footing, but on there, I will soon be selling some of my garments. And if it resonates with you, you want to be fly, you will be if you wear real nice.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you.
So
If
thank
anybody's
you.
interested in working with me, I'm at gwenmcarsley.com, or you can email me at info@luvology.com, body, sex, and soul coach. I was going to add something in there, but it's got, oh, yes, moon letters. Please send me your moon letters. I'm also going to be posting up my wish experiment and the intention for the coming year next week. So if anybody's interested in that, you can check that out or email me again directly at info@luvology.com. Thank you for joining us. Happy,
Thank
happy
you so much.
2026. Thank you,
Yes,
Rill.
same,
Oh my
same
God, that
to
was so
you.
much
Thank
fun.
you. I appreciate you, Gwen.
Thank you. Thank you.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye, sweetheart.
Thank you for listening to Skin and Soul with me, Gwenm. Join me Fridays at 10 a.m. PST on Transformation Talk Radio. Catch the podcast anytime on your favorite platforms. You can follow me on Instagram at Luvology. Ready to take the next step? Book a compatibility call with me at gwenmcarsley.com.